Hi guys, this is Hero. How's everyone doing today? How's your Kemcho? How's sub case ho? So today I'm making a video on don't use spirituality to not get out of your comfort zone. Okay. What do I mean by this? I notice a lot of people, spiritual people, or people who think they're spiritual or whatever, they tend to take the overly passive route. Okay. And this is great sometimes. But as you guys may have known from other videos you may have watched, there's always two extremes you can take. Okay. I'll give you an example right now. Okay, so I just finished playing basketball. This is what inspired this video. There was a lot of people that came that were, talking a lot of shit and playing very physically aggressive, okay? They all had, the tattoos and the chains and stuff. I think, I'm not saying everyone who's wearing tattoos and has chains, is acting ungroundedly or trying to look tough. But I think you guys get the point, or, the picture I'm trying to paint, right? So, yeah, they're playing and speaking very aggressively, right? Now, obviously, yeah, we know one, thing we're not supposed to do. One extreme is, act and behave in the same ungrounded manner that they are, right? This would not be conducive, right? Your judgment is clouded while playing the game and things like that, and just overall your actions and words. However, another extreme I've seen people take, and this is not just people who are like spiritual. There's also people who are just they rationally think they're very smart people and rely on that a lot, especially a lot of Indians, unfortunately, okay? I've seen them, do this, unfortunately, not representing us too well. But they take the too passive route, okay? Or they'll just kind of play the same way they're playing, not getting out of their comfort zone internally or externally. Most likely they're going to lose. But I know that they should have done something about it, because afterwards they'll talk a whole bunch of shit amongst their friends on like how, whatever, right? We could have easily won. They weren't even that good. It's that charge inside of you that was getting built. It was used directly, ideally to, not go off of the passive extreme, but to actually do something about it in a grounded way, but you failed, right? And then that's how it expresses itself afterwards, okay? But as someone who doesn't usually do that, right? And okay, a little bit of a disclaimer. Okay, I understand that a lot of people, especially Indian people, are a little bit smaller and skinnier. Okay, I objectively would say I have a little bit more of a dominant personality. Okay, just the way especially relative to other Indians, okay, just the way I've observed. And I'm also a bigger person, okay? I'm a little bit over like 200 pounds, okay, which is, kilograms. It's like 90 something kilograms, I think, okay? Or maybe like around 90, okay? Low 90s. So I know that's a factor here, okay? But moving forward. So I'm just giving you my advice. You can take it however you want. In this kind of situation, it could be your karma, right? Because it's a spiritual video and all this. It could be your karma to do something about the situation, right? Don't act either, out of either extreme, but you could have to stand up for yourself physically or verbally, mentally, whatever, in order for yourself, for your team, for whatever, right? And this is gonna require you to get out of your comfort zone. Get out of your comfort zone externally, internally, whatever. And it's gonna require you to accept a lot of fears on the spot, which is why I actually recommend that, people play sports, right? But they play sports in a way that allows them to get out of their comfort zone. Now, naturally, over time, you will get out of your comfort zone. But I'd encourage you to act and play in a way that does. So, for example, here, you do need to get over the fear of getting embarrassed, getting hurt, XYZ. There's all these fears that you need to get over that are preventing you from getting out of your comfort zone, right? Now, let me give you some examples that you guys can actually relate to a little bit better. Let's just say at work, okay? And this is something that I've done that I actually have not seen too many people do. But I think that this is just part of my overall karma, and I'll explain. Let's just say there's someone bothering you at work, right? And for me, I can directly speak on this because I've actually had 2 different times, like what appears to be like some director giving me a lot of crap, and it almost seems personal, okay? So for those of you guys who don't know, let's just say I'm young, right? I'm an associate or, an analyst, or, even an intern in one of them, right? So the next level up would be manager, and the next level up would be director. So this is someone, this is not a director, my direct director. It's someone on my director's level, both times. So this is a pretty high up person, right? They probably have like total between 25 and 50 people reporting to them. Okay, so they feel good, right? There's 25 people that are looking to them as, you know, they're they're superior, right? Okay, a little bit of disclaimer. Like I said, I do have a little bit of that dominant personality, and I was a little bit younger. Okay, so I didn't really have too much to lose, right? If there's an internship and I say something to some director, like I'm gone, right? Like it's not. But it still requires some fears. And but the reason why I'm telling you this is because I was able to conquer this with somebody that level. So somebody's giving you something on your level or something. Ideally, you should be able to handle it. Now, back to the two extremes, right? So if someone's saying something, right? There's two extremes you can go to here. One is obviously getting ungrounded just like them, and one is being too passive, okay? You want to find a middle ground. Now, the too passive route, there is some truth to this, right? Because there is a reason why spiritual people tend to coin towards this side. That's, you know, accepting that this is part of your karma and all this kind of stuff, which is true, But it could also be a part of your karma to do something about this. Now, there's different levels of doing something about this that you need to see. One of the most passive ways that you could still do something about it is, you know, looking for another job if it really gets out of hand, right? It's been going on for months, years, whatever. You don't have the ability to do something about it. Okay, yeah, that's one option. But what could be your karma, okay, rather than just running away, is doing something, or, you know, calling this person out personally, okay? Now, this doesn't mean get all angry and things like that, right? And I know it might be scary, okay, especially, you know, let's just say, you know, this is your paycheck on the line, right? Or this is, you know, your chance of future promotions, looking good in the company. I get all of that, right? Everything you work so hard for, all the, you know, all the pain that your ego thinks you tolerated, okay? It's on the line here, right? Now, yeah, but you could need to say something, right? Now, how you do it is up to you, okay? But I would give you, I probably shouldn't give my own personal examples here, okay? I don't want this to bite back on me at a later point. But point is, I've been in this situation a couple times, and I've called this person out in a very personal and public way. I just, you know, the next time they did something about it, it just happened to be in front of some people. And I just made it very, very known that everything that they're saying is very baseless, and I'll just leave it at that. Okay. So point is, there's sometimes where you can't just run away, or you can't just accept it. You got to do something about it, right? Or I'm going to continue to, you know, take heat for things that I shouldn't take heat on, take very inappropriate jokes that I shouldn't, you know, be taking, things like that, right? Getting embarrassed, right? I don't need to get embarrassed, right? For, you know, someone who, you know, is just talking out of their ass, basically. I'll give you, now, I do understand that it could be a little bit more tricky, these situations, right? Especially with family, right? But, you know, you got to do what you can, right? So obviously, let's just say, you know, some family is bothering you or something, right? So be parent, spouse, whatever. Obviously, the too aggressive route, just getting into a barking competition with them, right? Just yelling back and forth. This is not going to be resourceful, most likely. Although on the passive side, you don't want to just keep taking it over and over, right? So there could be a middle ground, which is talking to them about it. And it's family, so ideally, this person, you know, you should try to help them out. If you see some kind of root trauma that they haven't acknowledged, or some unresolved issues, you could help them in the long run, okay? I'd be very careful about, you know, discontinuing contact with this person. That's really a last resort that should come after years and years of dealing with it, if this is like a family member or something like that. But you could, you know, say things groundedly that are still not that passive, but that force you to accept your fears, right? Let's just say that your wife is giving you a lot of shit, right? Younger guy, you know, I know how, I'm not even gonna say, but let's just say younger guy, you don't have any kids, right? But, you know, you've been married for like 3 years, and your wife is bothering you a lot, and you could tell that a lot of the things she's bothering you about is very baseless, right? Maybe she's hanging around a bunch of gossiping girls and, you know, taking it out on you, right? Whatever, you know, garbage she takes in energetically, just comes out on you, right? Because she can't, you know, yell at her friends, because then she loses all of her gossiping buddies, right? Just say you think about this, right? Obviously, you know, it happens once or twice, whatever. But if it keeps happening for like 4, 5, 6 months, you could, you know, grow some balls and say, hey, you know, maybe if I'm the problem, maybe we should, you know, don't say, oh, I'm leaving you, all this kind of stuff. But maybe you just say, hey, look, maybe you just need some space, right? Maybe, you know, you should go live over there, you know, with your parents. I go back with my parents. Or you can even stay here, since I'm, you know, you can just have your own space, right? And, you know, actually, you know, overcome your fears and all this kind of stuff, and let her, you know, figure it out, right? Because right now you're kind of living in fear, right, by not saying this, in my opinion. You know, separation is something that is completely okay in the scriptures, in my opinion. Okay. You know, a lot of traditional conservative families, they actually recommend this sometimes when, you know, people are fighting and they can't stand each other. I don't know why this tactic is actually not used more. Okay, they just jump straight to divorce, like, oh, it's over, right? No, you can take some even months apart, right? Okay, as long as, you know, other third parties, you know, don't get involved in an intimate manner. Okay, I think it's okay. So you're actually not, you're actually acting out of fear by trying to cling on to this person and, you know, letting them, you know, say whatever they want to you. Now, you do need to monitor your own ego, right? Everything I'm saying in this video is, you know, I'm assuming that you guys are somewhat very highly spiritually elevated, and you guys are going to act very groundedly, and not out of some unresolved trauma or something that you have inside of you. Okay. So I'm going to leave it at that for this video, because if you have any questions or comments, as usual, you can let me know. And just remember, don't use spirituality to not get out of your comfort zone. There could be multiple layers of things that you have to do involved in your karmas. So, like I said, just you know, be, you know, just make sure that your awareness is the highest possible, so you can make the decisions best, right? It's not what you do to an extent; it's how you do it, the most part. Okay. So until next time, I'll talk to everyone later. Thank you so much for watching.